Welcome back to Star Wars Escape Pod and our 9th episode of Lightspeed, bringing you Star Wars news and headlines in under 15 minutes. But first off, I just want to say a big thank you to our listeners out there, anyone who's been sharing the show, giving us your endorsement, giving us a review on Podchaser or Apple Podcasts, iTunes, whatever it is you're using. If you've been dropping some stars down and giving us a few words, even if it's just like one sentence, thank you for your support in doing that. You know, it really helps people find the show. And there's a lot more people who listen to the show than they actually put on the reviews. So for those few of you who have been doing that, helping us out like that, thank you so much for doing that. It really does make a huge difference. And, you know, it is a nonprofit show and everything like that. So that's all we want to ask. And, you know, if you do it on Podchaser as of the month of April, every single review on there is a 25-cent donation on Podchaser's behalf to Meals on Wheels. So if you feel like not giving any money to any organization at all, but you have 5 minutes just to go on there and drop a review down, you might need to make an account. But if you do that, a quarter goes to the Meals on Wheels Foundation, and we'll do our best to reply to all those reviews, and then it's actually doubled. So for every 2 reviews on there, assuming that I go on there and have a nice little reply to your feedback, that's a whole $1 to Meals on Wheels. So that's a good way to help us out. It's a good way to help them out, and of course helps other people out because it's easier for them to find the show based on the algorithms, people clicking on it, people leaving reviews, you know, bumping up those stars, all that stuff. So please, if you have a moment, take a moment to do that if you can. That would really help us out. So let's get into the news headlines here. Star Wars Darth Vader actor David Prowse's items are up for auction in his home city of Bristol on the 4th of May, which is Star Wars Day. So if you live around Bristol, if you're in the Gloucester area, you know, it's in the English countryside, so to speak. If you live in that vicinity, then May the 4th, you'll want to be going by Bristol, and his home will be the center point for the auction, I believe, and more than 700 possessions of David Prowse will be sold at this auction, including an original script from The Empire Strikes Back, a helmet of his, and various other items, letters from Peter Cushing, a piece of the Millennium Falcon itself. I think this might even be the set, not the model, but like the actual set. So lots of cool stuff. And there was an article written by The Guardian, and I'll breeze through it here. The lots up for auction include an iconic movie script, a mask that has terrified generations of sci-fi fans, and even a chunk of a beloved starship. More than 700 possessions of David Prowse, the Bristolian who played Darth Vader in the original Star Wars trilogy, are being sold off in his home city following his death aged 85 last year. Included is the Empire Strikes Back script, which has key lines removed to keep Vader's relationship with Luke Skywalker a secret, a piece of the Millennium Falcon cockpit, and a Vader mask Prowse is believed to have used for appearances at conventions and events. Appropriately, the collection will be sold on the 4th of May, a nod to the franchise's famous line, "May the Force be with you." Auctioneer Andrew Stowe of East Bristol Auctions said, "When I was rummaging through the boxes from his house, every now and then I'd come across something special, and it would send my brain racing. In one box, I'd find his Empire Strikes Back script. In another, I found an actual piece of the Millennium Falcon. And then a little deeper down, I'd find a letter from Peter Cushing. The Empire Strikes Back script is expected to sell for thousands. My spine tingled when I first saw the script," said Stowe. But the line revealing Vader and Luke's relationship does not feature. Stowe said, "The reveal, perhaps the most recognized moment in cinema history, was kept a big secret from most of the cast. As Prowse's lines would be overdubbed by James Earl Jones, Prowse wasn't privy to the secret. So instead, he was given alternate dialogue, which is considerably less dramatic. But that in itself makes this a unique piece of history. A percentage of proceeds from the auction will go to the Alzheimer's Research UK." So if you do live in the vicinity of David Prowse's home, drop by Bristol and you might be able to get in on this auction. Even to own like a little mug or something, one of these 700 possessions. I mean, if you had like a glassware or a mug or something like that, and just to know that it's David Prowse's, I mean, that in itself is pretty cool. I gotta say, even if you find something for like 20 quid or whatever, it might be worth buying just so you have like an actual object of David Prowse's that he once owned. I don't know. It comes down to your own personal obsession, whether or not you care about that kind of souvenir or not. But matter of fact is his stuff is going up for sale, and the fact that an Empire Strikes Back script will be sold, an original first copy script will be sold at this auction, is pretty insane. The fact that it's not going on the internet, at least I hope not for all of you guys in that area, you could be scoring a pretty solid deal on this script, even if it does sell for thousands. I mean, it's probably going to be worth a lot more as soon as you start looking at the prices online for some of these things. I mean, it's absolutely astronomical how much an original script can sell for. So it might be worth a look. And if you have a free moment on May 4th, which also happens to be a Tuesday, it might be worth doing a drive-by at least. And especially if you're only like 20 minutes away, it's totally worth your time. So next up on our headlines is our headlines itself on the podcast. So one of our latest episodes that we put out is called Evil in the High Republic, Our Thoughts, the High Republic Wave 2. And basically we just talked about our thoughts on the High Republic so far. Myself and Blake have read all three of the new novels, which is Light of the Jedi, A Test of Courage, and Into the Dark. And we've also read the first couple issues of the Marvel and the IDW High Republic comic book series, which also weave into this narrative. And it's been interesting so far. We give our full review and kind of opinions on the era and the evil within this era, being a big part of Star Wars, the conflict between good and evil. A big part of the story is, of course, what the Jedi are fighting in this time, which is not the Sith. So we talk all about the Nihil and the Drengir, and give our thoughts on that, as well as speculate on some of the upcoming material from the future waves of the High Republic era and all the comics and novels that will be coming out from this summer onwards to October or November, whichever it is. They've got a whole wave of content that's coming our way in the High Republic, which will complete phase 1 of the High Republic until next year when phase 2 begins. So lots of stuff coming our way. We even talked about The Acolyte, the Disney Plus show that will take place in the end of the phase 3 of the High Republic era. It's interesting enough that all these books and stuff are actually leading up to that event, which is a show which will take place in a year and a half's time, or whenever it does. May the 4th being only 2 weeks away, just a reminder that you do want to check in on the Amazon, Her Universe, Steam Marketplace, Oculus VR, the App Store, your bookstore, whatever it is that you normally shop for anything Star Wars related, including your local toy store, Toys R Us, whatever it is that you got. Star Wars sales happen every year, all right, on May the 4th. Amazon especially, Steam, always. It always happens. They give the Star Wars discount. Sometimes there's promo codes you got to use. Other times there isn't. Sometimes they just whack the percentage off the total price and that's it. All to celebrate Star Wars Day. So make sure that the Bad Batch premiere isn't where you stop. If there's anything on your wish list at all, make sure you check to see if it's discounted in any way, shape, or form, which is only 2 weeks away. So maybe hold off buying anything Star Wars related until that point, just because it could be a little cheaper by then. So hopefully you hear this before you end up, rushing out to the toy store to get this stuff in anticipation of Star Wars Day. Maybe just wait to Star Wars Day, and you might actually be able to score 15 or 20% off that product that you're normally looking to buy. So just wanted wanted to give you all a friendly reminder that that's something that normally does happen. And if you're a fairly new Star Wars fan, then just be advised, it's going to be a bit crazy. Stock might run out pretty quickly if these sales go online, and so just an overall announcement to that. May the 4th, really looking forward to it. I'll be celebrating it by myself, working from home or whatever else, and watching the premiere of The Bad Batch. So and doing some light online window shopping, see if anything's looking good. Maybe buy a Star Wars toaster or something like that. You never know. The Amazon's full of stuff, so we'll take a look and see what's available. We are 1 week away from the release of Thrawn Ascendancy in the last Star Wars Lightspeed, which wasn't long ago. You can listen in on that one for the full book update, but just as a friendly reminder, Thrawn Ascendancy comes out in 1 week. Also, Star Wars Hasbro, the Black Series, released 4 new action figures, or at least ones that will be coming out, including, I think it's Anakin Skywalker, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and one of the clone pilots, and Echo, and they'll be released in special format boxes with the original Clone Wars animated movie behind the action figure. Is the first Black Series box that isn't going to be in the normal standard box that we're used to seeing. That includes the newer ones with the pictures on the side. So if you're interested in those, there are 4 brand new reveals, and it's been all over the internet as far as the action figure community goes. And I'm sure if you collect the 6-inch, you probably already heard about this, but it's just definitely worth a look. And again, these are the Clone Wars style. So Anakin, if you're looking at getting Anakin or Obi-Wan in the Clone Wars costumes from the first 3 seasons with the armored plating on their chest and arms, then this is the first time that they're ever releasing those in a 6-inch format. They have been around for a long time in the smaller 3 3/4 inches, but this will be the first 6-inch figure of that type. And I'm assuming this is not only is this to celebrate, of course, the 50 years of Lucasfilm, which is this entire year celebrates Lucasfilm's 50th anniversary, but it's possible that going forward they could release a few more from that lineup, including an Ahsoka figure. I wouldn't be surprised if they did, as well as another clone trooper like Fives or something. I know Echo's on there, but Fives could be another great one to launch. Anyway, that's all we got for today. And of course, as always, like I said in the beginning, if you guys can help us out in any way whatsoever, now you're also helping out Meals on Wheels for the month of April. If you want to get in those reviews on Podchaser, and in general, if you want to just leave a review, if you have some time to do that in any platform, like that really helps us out. And I can't stress that enough. It's the only way that people can literally discover this show, other than sending it and a link to them and telling them to watch it. So it's the most passive way to have the show more discovered and to help us grow our listener base. So if you can do that, and you'll be helping us out, you'll be helping them out. And for the month of April on Podchaser, you'll be helping people out through Meals on Wheels. So thanks again for doing that, for tuning in, and being such a avid part as to why we do this show in the first place. We love having Star Wars conversation as Star Wars fans, for Star Wars fans, and that's been the mentality since the beginning. And if we keep doing this, it'll be likely for us to upgrade our equipment and software and whatever else, and give this show an even higher production value, and might even just put a little more time into it. But it all starts with knowing that more people are listening in the first place. So thank you again for leaving those reviews, for sharing around the show, and feel free to check out the links in the description of this podcast to do all that stuff. All right, guys, we'll see you next time, and may the Force be with you.